And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome once again to, uh, as we're beginning to come, um, this, I guess you could say, this is, one of those streams where In Your Face is slowly coming to a halt. Here on the Prince Magnum channel, we will be retiring this series that's been a part of the Prince Magnum channel for almost 4 years. So if you're unfamiliar with In Your Face, I'm going to kind of let everyone kind of file in. And In Your Face is a series that originally was designed to kind of tell people, how it really is on maybe a particular subject or just some knowledge specifically because there's an entire generation of young folks that was gypped out of knowledge that they should have been given, but they weren't. For whatever reason, they were just cheated out of that knowledge. So because of that, um, I did initially take it upon myself to, uh, to, how do I say, uh, present that knowledge as best as I could to everybody. And that was the original design behind this series. Now, that being said, uh, this series did get drug into alternate media, and I really didn't want to be a part of alternate media. I figured I would let everybody else handle alternate media. But this is going to be a more serious live stream because the medical field, as I know it today, I worked 13 years in nursing, and it was one of those things that while I was in the medical field, I seen some things that most people are just unaware of when it comes to the medical field, and more specifically in the nursing homes. And I felt it was necessary because with everything going on right now, we have a lot of unsung heroes right now, not just in nursing in general, but specifically in nursing homes. Um, we have some unsung heroes, and I guess you could say, in essence, this live stream will dive into that particular subject. All right. I did briefly see one person pop into the live. I don't know if they left a likey. I'm thinking they left a likey. Um, it just hasn't said yet. So that being said, um, let me make sure everything is on as it should be. And we will again wait a few moments for everyone to start filing in. Uh, don't know if anybody's going to be in this one or not. I'm hoping. I would hate to, to get all dressed up in my own, you know, uniform and, not have anyone in the live. That would, oh man, I'd almost be heartbroken on that. All right. There we go. Goodness gracious. My old phone is exploding. Okay. There we go. And that'll also help me keep up with what's going on. There we go. All righty, we are all set to go. Again, um, depending on, oh, wow, we already got people popping in. Hey, what's going on? Jamie of the Isolationist Network. And we have Gavin John. Welcome to the live. This is going to be one of those. Normally, we do a lot of straightforward, we have a lot of fun. And today, I actually have to do kind of a serious subject for once. Um, and For those who do not know, if you're wondering what the old uniform top is, that's because I used to work in the medical field. And right now, we got a lot of unsung heroes right now in the medical field. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in, in the nursing department within nursing homes. that does not get talked about. Um, Whenever you hear about nursing homes, you hear about oh, they didn't take care of, my loved one. You always hear that, but um, you never actually hear what the people in the uniforms have to deal with on a daily basis. So for 13 years, I think I might know a little something about it. So feel free to kick back, relax, all that good stuff. And we're going to dive into this hardcore. Now, real quick, before I forget, the series In Your Face is only going to be around for a short while longer. Um, and by the end of this year, this series goes away. I'm not happy about this series. Initially, what it was designed for is not what it ended up being. I got drug into alternate media, and there's going to be I will be purging some of those old videos. So those videos will be going away. A lot of those old in your face videos where we talk about, stuff that I just don't enjoy talking about anymore. Y'all pretty well know not to pay attention to mainstream media. We all know that. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. For those who do not know, Jamie, who runs the Isolationist Network, is one of those guys that, I mean, when you go in there, just how he welcomes you is just so phenomenal. It blows your mind. When he goes in, when and he, welcome to the gingerbread man. Just the way he does it, I can't even come close. Just that type of, he has an amazing energy. You know, and I get such a kick out of him. All right, so we've jerked around with this long enough. Let me say the first thing out of the gate is if you work the medical field, um, you know, you are at risk of getting what everybody else gets, even more so than everybody else. You're at high risk. So with the whole virus thing going on right now, the people in the medical field are at super high risk. But let's go one step further. Inside the nursing homes, uh, if you will, in nursing homes, you're talking about a closed environment, okay? And in a closed environment, if one person gets into contact with anyone carrying this particular virus and how it likes to spread, they will come in and that virus will spread inside that nursing home because people really can't get that far from each other. So not only are your residents, because there's a difference between patients and clients and residents, but your residents are at high risk too. So what ends up happening is the residents start falling sick, and because of this particular hey, what's going on? Harold's Random Videos. Welcome to the live. We're actually talking about the dark side. Basically what those in the medical field. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I just figure since we're getting close to retiring this series here on the Prince Magnum channel, figured it was high time that one more time I put on the old uniform. And yes, this is my old scrub uniform from one of them that I wore back in the. I still work nursing homes. For those who do not know, I'm retired from nursing. I was a certified nurse's aide, certified med tech with insulin certification, cross trained for occupational therapy, and I specifically specialized in Alzheimer's and dementia. Not a joke. I have not seen a classroom since I was 24, and I'm 40 now. So I was at the top of my game, and I was really good at what I did. But a stroke took me out of the business. But back to what I was saying. Hey, Last of the Riders Creed. I seen a video of yours pop up on, and I have not got a chance to go over and check it out, but I've got to get over there and see it. One of your new videos that just came up. So I'm gonna have to get over there and check it out, man. Okay, where was I again? Wow, so many of you come in and okay, Harold. So you okay? So you know, if you've been out of school a minute, you know it's you know what it's like. How the heck did all this time pass? Um, oh, real quick, if you're wondering if I've got like bags under my eyes, no, we did a drag makeup episode, and I'm still cleaning off some of my eye makeup from last night. Still working on that. So it's not bags, it's actual makeup. Where Princess Faye put drag makeup on me. So if you missed that live yesterday, you missed out. You totally missed out. Right? Time goes by pretty fast. Well, so I went into the medical field, and as I was in the medical field, one of the first things I need to say right out of the gate, when I first got into the medical field, where I lived, there was not a whole lot of guys doing this. It was mostly women, and I actually met I was actually met with, hey, Gamerin, really? You, I did not get a notification. I did not get it. I'll have to go over and check out, see what you did. I want to see it. I want to see it. Real quick, for those that do not know, okay, again, Harold's Random Videos, another amazing YouTube channel, that just another wonderful personality I've got to know. Get such a kick out of him. Absolutely glad to have Harold as a member of the Maverick Nation. And of course, we have Gamer and BRFC, he does these amazing walkthrough videos that just are absolutely fantastic. I get such a joy out of his videos. And he was doing one on Croc's World, and I had never seen this game before, and it was just so fantastic. I was like, I would have loved this game, and just the personality, Princess Favorite. She's like, I love his voice. I'm like, I know, right? He's cool. Oh, Gamerin, I'm not actually tired. It's just I'm still cleaning. I'm still cleaning some of the eyeshadow off from last night. Yeah, I'm still cleaning some of that off. Uh, the things I do for entertainment. Anyhow, so basically, when I got started in the medical field, there was not a whole lot of guys. And believe it or not, I've met right away, from my own peers in the medical field, I met people that were the best way I could put it. I met people right out of the gate. No, Gamer, you do. I really love your personality. Um, you've got an amazing personality. Just you've got it. You've got it. You just you don't know it, but you've got it. You're very entertaining. You're very entertaining. Uh, you know, that's something to be said here on YouTube. There's some people that can just they have to have the huge setup and just these awesome intros and outros and everything like that. And what I have found is that's all fine and well.
I have the volume up really loud. I will not be able to hear you, even if you scream.
Okay.
So, coffee's brewing. I will bring that to you as soon as I can, but I'm also going to be cleaning the kitchen. So if you need me, you're gonna have to come tap on my shoulder.
Okay, honey.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going anywhere right now.
Every once in a
Hey,
while, I
what's
might
going?
pop in and make sure you're doing okay.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, Harrison? Don't worry, I had no makeup today. Well, other than what I'm still cleaning off my eyes. You can still see some of the eyeshadowing. Oh, she won't be able to hear you, but yeah, no eyeshadow today. And for those also who do not know, Gamer and BRFC is also a veteran of Her Majesty's Royal Marines. And let me say, it is an honor to have Not anytime any veterans come in or anything like that, it is always an honor when we even get veterans from overseas. Prince, Prince Kate. You're awesome, guys. Okay. So when I first started working in the medical field, one of the things that I actually met right out of the gate was I actually had suffered from discrimination from my female coworkers uh, for like the first couple of years because a young guy working in nursing was oftentimes really looked down upon. Hey, what's going on, A&R? You missed the live yesterday. Again, I'm not tired, and it's not the it's not the shadowing. We did it yesterday. I did it again. Had Princess Faye put makeup all over me. Oh, you did? Okay. What did you miss? Well, right now I'm actually everyone's kind of getting in. We're talking about my days when I worked in the medical field, kind of that the untold truths about the medical field, more in particular working in nursing inside of a nursing home. Um, so that's kind of what I've started. I'm kind of, I'm just kind of chatting with everybody, but let me tell you, yeah, this is actually one of my old scrub uniforms that I'm wearing right now. This is actually one of my old uniforms. For those who do not know, I'm retired from the medical field. I worked as a CNA CMT with insulin certification. Oh, you saw another AR. Did you feel a little uncomfortable when I did that stare into the camera? Did you get uncomfortable again? Anytime that we do, I did, yeah, I know, Harry. I know. Uh, oh, that's my boy. Uh, so our one of us here isn't right. Okay, it's me. Anyhow, um, if my boss sees that, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you did it again." All right. So back to what I was talking about. Initially, when started working the field, I started meeting a lot of opposition. When I went on to get my CMT license, that changed. The rules changed at that point. Once I got my medtech certificate. And for those who do not know, I used to pass medicine in nursing homes. Now here in I don't know what it's like overseas, but when you go into a nursing home here in the United States, um, if you don't know what a medication, a med tech is or a medication technician is in this particular case, what my job was is you go into a nursing home. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm surprised Sean isn't in here, and I know my sister would so. Hey, what's going on, Queen Bee? We're actually talking about my days in the medical field, and kind of some stuff that no one really talks about in the medical field. Hey, if it isn't Ubi Allen, come flying through to say hi to everybody and bring some positive vibes into this stream. Well, I'm glad you're in here, Queen. Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, Princess Faye is talking about doing like a computer artwork stream where basically she'll go on and start streaming her trying to do artwork and stuff like that. I'm having a wonderful Easter. I'm having a wonderful Easter, Ubi. Of course, with everybody here, it's even better. It's just, even though we're all in that self quarantine and everything. Well, you're going to laugh about this, Queen. Um, with that whole thing, Princess Faye, I was telling her that I said she's like, I'd like to stream it. I said, well, that'd be a great idea, baby. And then she says, would you be all right if I streamed it on your channel? And I said, well, of course. I said, but why do you want to stream on my channel? She said, because I like your people more. And I'm like, that's great. I was like, yeah, you can totally. So there's an excellent chance we may be live tomorrow, but it'll be Princess Faye in that stream. I'll just be off in the background loading videos up to the channel and everything. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Because y'all know that tomorrow is loaded content. Hey, think different. So again, for those that do not know, the reason why I'm wearing an old white scrub top is because I used to work the medical field. Um, so I used to work nursing. I was a so what my job was as a medication technician or a certified medication technician. If you don't know what that is, I know some people here, even here in the States, don't really know what a med tech is. So you go into a nursing home. Oh, thank you, thank you. Gabriel. That's fine. I'll ask her. I'll ask her. So what when you go into a nursing home, most of you all know what that big cart that has all the medicine in it, okay? And then there's a jerk that's behind that medicine cart. I used to be that jerk that was behind the medicine cart. So that was what I did. That was my job. I would go around handing medicine out, and a lot of times my old residents, I actually remember residents. They would actually say to me, "Pills, pills. You are a pill," and I'd just laugh. I'd say, "I know that. Yeah." So they always, as a matter of fact, it got to the point that I would walk up to them and I would go to hand them their medicine. I said, "Here you go, some pills from a pill." And they just thought that was hilarious. So if y'all ever wonder where I get that ability to, to kind of tell jokes and make everyone laugh and things like that, if you can make them laugh in a nursing home, you can make them laugh anywhere. That is not a joke, because those people really don't have much to look forward to. So with that being said, one of the other things that I also will say, um, it can be very depressing working in a nursing home. It can be very depressing. Um, Here's the ugly side of the medical field, well, of the nursing home nursing that most people just don't talk about. And that is because of the simple fact it is so depressing. When you go home after work, um, there is no one to really talk to. Okay. Because no one, unless your other half works in the medical field, you're they really don't get it. They don't understand what it is you're going through. So, for the record, because some of the things that I ran into while working in nursing, one of the things that I ran into was like, trying to, I was never allowed to talk about what I did at work at the supper table for some odd reason. I don't understand why. My other half just would not let me talk about what I did at work. Oh yeah, that's a tough job too. Those people that work in the kitchen. Matter of fact, I actually was engaged to a gal. This is before Princess Faye, but I was engaged to a gal that I met working in nursing, and she worked in dietary. So, which brings me to when talking about how depressing the job is, and when you go home, there's no one to really talk to about what bad experiences. You guys got to remember, when I worked the medical field, I was around. I I'd seen a lot of people who passed on. Yeah, I've seen that a lot of times, uh, which I'll get to that in a moment. For those that do not know, because I did work nursing homes and I did work in nursing in those nursing homes, as horrible as it sounds, I have seen a lot of people pass away. I've I've been around people who were dead. You know, there's no nice way of saying it. I've been around dead bodies. Um, as a matter of fact, my mother. we were talking about it, and she's like, "How did you do that all those years, son?" And I did it you know, because I loved what I was doing. And I said I was one of the last people to do anything for those people. I said, so to me, that was just one of those amazing things, that I got to do that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. A lot of them oftentimes treated me like one of their own. Um, they oftentimes treated me. Those residents were amazing. They always treated me like I was one of the family, and I loved it. Oh man, it was great. Yeah. Yeah, LSB. Yeah, I'm still actually cleaning some of my eye makeup off. uh, oh my gosh. A&R was evidently, he's like, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Poor guy. Well, Harold, some nursing homes do treat older people pretty rough. As a matter of fact, hey, what's going on, Subaru Nerd Vapes? It's been guarded to myself. uh, Real quick, Subaru, you missed one of yesterday's live streams. What we have done since the pandemic has started is once a week, my wife puts drag makeup on me. Not a joke. Not a joke. My wife will put drag makeup on me. So if you're looking for it, the video that you want to see is off the chain. Prince Dragnum is here again. And then, of course, a week before that, we did one off the chain, uh, the debut of Prince Dragnum. And basically, my wife puts drag makeup on. I goof off on camera as if I'm a drag queen. And and it brings in a lot of people from all over. Everybody has a lot of laughs. I know one of them that I did took almost 100 views in just like a couple of days. So evidently, it really struck a chord with the right people because I mean, with everything going on right now, honestly and truthfully, it just made sense. Hang on here. If I did something like that every now and again to remind everyone, don't take everything so doggone serious. How many times I got to tell y'all it's all fun and games till someone says that? You sure do have a purty mouth. Actually, Princess Faye. Oh, hang on. Everybody's been saying hi to you, honey.
Oh, hi everybody. My headphones died.
I'm sorry.
That's what I get for charging them.
Right. Um. Oh my gosh. Hey, what's going on, Sean? No, Gabriel, she didn't beat the tar out of me for that. But homemade bread. Prince Magnum's homemade bread. I got away with baking something. Queen Queen says hi, honey, and how are you? Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I went for like I we rocked and rolled for like 6 hours. For those that do not know, I've been trying to run my watch time minutes up. So let me give you guys. I'm sure all of you are curious by now how the watch time minutes are doing. So we're going to go ahead and give an update on the watch time minutes real quick. We are at 17.7 thousand watch time minutes, which equates to oh no, no. What's wrong with you, man? You 100 cusses. You guys are bad. Respect this. You guys. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh, what am I gonna do with y'all? All right, 7,000 divided by 60. Okay, we are up to 295 watch time hours. So we are going to be going live. Oh, it's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. All righty. Let me get y'all, again, talking about my time in the medical field. Let me tell you all, now this isn't talked about in nursing homes, but there is, if you work in nursing, how many? 4,000. 4,000. So we're going to be going live as often as possible and run those watch time minutes up. If any of y'all get a chance, take a look at some of the old videos. I've got a bunch of good ones that I think a lot of you would enjoy. I know, Queen, I know very well that, what? I'm right there with you. I'm a sick puppy. Just for the record, I used to be a hopeless romantic. Um, I used to be a hopeless romantic. Now I'm just depraved and perverted. um, it's one of them things. One of them things. Seems like the older you get, the more perverse you get. Um, you know. Oh, did you? Thank you. Thank you. Um, as a matter of fact, here, hold on. Queen, I've got one. I have I've got a few of these that you guys will love. Um, which ironically enough, I am also in that right now. Um, but while I was working in the working in nursing homes, there was a lot of us that struggled with drugs, struggled with alcohol, or we slept around. We used to. So if you ever hear Princess Faye get on to me saying that, oh yeah, he's always sleep. My husband used to be a whore. She's not joking. Um, you know, um, smash that like y'all. You guys are awesome. So I used to sleep around a lot. As a matter of fact, the last nursing home I worked in, I got really ticked off one day. I got really upset. And one of, and y'all know when I get upset, I don't know who doesn't know this. When I get upset, I make a joke. I make a joke to kind of calm myself down because humor is a good thing. So what I did was I got really upset and I looked at my female counterpart, one of the lady med techs that I worked with. She turned around, and, I looked at her and said, I could have been anything. I could have been, I could have been a doctor. I could have been a lawyer. Shoot, I could have been a farmer. Oh no, it was my female. It was my female coworkers in nursing. Queen shared. It was my lady coworkers in nursing. So when I say that I have 5 children, oh no. Um, I'll have to tell you one of those stories. Oh my gosh. Uh, but I got ticked off and I looked at my female, at the female med tech that I worked with, and I said, I could have been anything. I could have been a doctor. I could have been a lawyer. Shoot, I could have been a farmer. How hard is it to be a farmer? You get up every day, get a hoe in your hands, and you plant seeds. She looked at me and she says, Prince Magnum, I've heard about, you need not tell that joke. I've heard about all the women you slept with. And I just smiled at her and said, sleep had nothing to do with it. And and she's like, I'm like, what? It didn't. Sleep didn't have anything to do with it. Anyhow, all I wanted to do was knock boots. Anyhow, I'm bad. I'm hoping Princess Faye didn't hear all that. She come in here, you fucking pervert. Anyhow, but yeah, so I worked in, working in the. You're stealing that joke. Could have been a doctor, could have been a lawyer. Shoot, I could have been a farmer. Get up every day, get a hoe in your hand, and plant seeds. Oh my gosh. For the record, working at McDonald's in maintenance, I have to clean out the fry vats. And, you know, and so, all right, I know Think Difference in here, uh, and you do know because everyone this ain't forget you. No, I turned yeah, I turned that off long time ago. All right, real quick, you're gonna love this. Uh, I know A&R. Well, I'm sorry. I know Think Different is somewhere lurking in the background, and uh, there you go. There you go. That's what's up. For the Subaru Nerd Vapes does he does he does these reviews on you know on the flavors of vape solutions for the for people who vape, and he does an amazing stuff. Yeah, vape reviews. And for the record, I have one that I got. I'll have to hook you up with some friends of mine over in Farmington because they've got their own flavors really good. And whenever I do vape, which my vape has been missing for a little while, but I always go with this one flavor called Cowboy, and it's basically like it tastes like cigars, which is why I like it. Um, so when I vape, I actually vape actual cigar flavors. That's just me. Because I have to trick myself. Because if you tell me it's vaping and not smoking, then I'm not smoking and it doesn't work for me. So I'm actually smoking. When I have a vape in my hand, I'm still smoking. Okay. That personal mind fuck, if you will. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll holler at him. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Where was I? Come on, brain cell. Oh yeah, I'm talking about work. Think Different. He's one of our locals here, in the St. Francis County area, and I know he knows me from drive through. I'm glad you quit. I'm still it's a work in progress. So he knows about my personality at drive through, and you use vaping to stop. Good for you. Um, so he knows pretty well the personality over there at my job. And every once in a while, I'll get a customer that'll well, not right now, obviously, but Sean. uh, I'll get a customer that every once in a while say, "All right, Prince Magnum, we know there is jokes that you cannot tell while you're at work, but we know that there's jokes that we customers can't hear, but in the back, uh, there are jokes that you could tell that." that we're just not allowed to hear. I said, "Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of those jokes that you guys are not allowed to hear." And they're like, "Would you tell us some of them?" I'm like, "Oh God, here's one of them." Because of me working in maintenance, um, here we go. Uh, Working in maintenance, I have to clean out the fry vats. Well, everyone knows. Everyone knows that one of the fry vats is the fish fillet fryer. Now you cannot cook the fish fillet with anything else because it starts, basically chicken will start tasting like fish. So you can't do that because the fish fillet oil, well, the fish fillet will just absolutely assassinate anything, any flavors, anything coming out of there. It just overtakes that fryer. So you have to do it in its own fryer. That being said, um, because we're because of that, one of my managers said one day, she's like, "I can't stand the fish fillet fryer. It stinks to me." And I looked at right at her and I said, I said, "It doesn't bother me. I was with a gal once. She smelled like fish." And then about that time, she's like, "Oh my God." And she's like, I can't deal with you right now. She just walks off. So there we go again, me being perverse. Remember, don't be bringing your kids into this live. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys are great. Oh man. Again, I'm the luckiest creator and content creator in the world. I got all of you guys. Even Princess Faye, when she was talking about she wanted to stream doing her artwork. It reminds me. Oh no, A&R's gonna be dropping the joke in. We get a joke from overseas now. There we go. That's what's up. Um, So, if you work in the medical field, it's not uncommon that there is trappings in the medical field. For example, I came out with a problem. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh man, A&R. That's. Poor Queen. I think poor Queen Bee laughs more in this live than probably any other one. Oh my gosh. Um, so uh damn it. Uh it is. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to be, to have that humor and everything like that. I'm a sick puppy. I'm a sick puppy. Here's a funny I've I had to watch out a lot of times because every nursing home I worked in, there was always, "Hey, what's going on, Mechanic CG? Welcome to the live, my friend. I'm glad you came in. Glad you came in. You get to see me in my old nursing uniform." Three guys walk into a. Oh, here we go. This one I got to hear. Uh, all right. So it's not uncommon for those that, oh, 2 a.m. there. I understand. I understand. I still appreciate you stopping in. Where we're at, well, where I'm at, that is, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Three guys walk into a bar, see a fine lady, and all want her. Okay. Let's see this Subaru. Oh, bar owner walks up. The lady is his wife. Okay. Sean. Three blondes walk into a bar. You think one of them would have seen it. Hey, what's going on, TFC Gaming? Hang on. You know what, guys? Hang on here. TFC has been in here on more than enough. Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I? There you go. Yeah. Uh-oh. One guy's name is Prince. All right, TFC Gaming, if you'll drop something in the chat, you'll notice the color of your name, and you'll notice a little icon right next to your name. Did I say more? Oh, you can tell you can tell I'm out of my mind. You'll have to excuse me. My dementia's no, I'm teasing. I'm working around nursing. The dementia's acting up. All right. Okay, 3 tasks. Okay, I'm with you. Okay. Super is telling us a joke in chat. So I'm trying to pick all this up. TFC, thank you for being here with me and hanging out. I do appreciate it. Where was I? While Subaru's loading in the rest of this joke. But yeah, so working in nursing, I had two of the 3 major vices. All righty. I can already see this is gonna be bad. Well, so working in nursing, I had 3 of the major vices. In nursing, the 3 major vices are because he runs across the field but can't go home. My two vices that I had was alcohol and sleeping around, which again, sleeping had nothing to do with it. So because of that, so that's a commonplace thing. If you work in nursing homes in the nursing department, it's really easy to get caught up in those trappings because there is no one to talk about with the things that you see. Again, I actually had to take care of people who had passed. I took care of people that basically I took care of dead people. Hey, the chairman, welcome to the live. So because of that, there's no one to talk to. It was not uncommon that because of that, a lot of us fall into the trapping of either drugs, alcohol, or sleeping around. And Fred got 2/3 of the way, huh? Okay. And so I got caught up in 2 of the trappings. There's also the other problem that most people don't talk about. Someone mentioned earlier that they'd seen where there was no family members for some of the people sitting in those nursing homes. Yeah, and a lot of times they do have family, but that family only comes around maybe once or twice of the year. And worse yet, when they come in, they act like they know what's going on. It's like, where have you been? You don't know anything that's going on with your loved one. We've been their loved one. If you'd have been here, we'd have known that. We would have known this. So, hey, it's kind of on you, man. So so we had to deal with that. We also had to deal with the fact that I'm just going to say it like this: if you have a loved one in a nursing home, I can guarantee they're on more. They're on some heavy duty narcotic medication. I can just about guarantee it. Doctors uh, like to turn residents in nursing homes into drug addicts. They love to do that to them. So if you've got a loved one, chances are they've got some heavy duty narcotics that they're on, and your loved one is now. Um, if your loved ones realized how much of a drug addict they were, uh, okay, yeah, yeah, because it's just commonplace that those who work in the medical field look at sometime at the nursing ban list. You'd be surprised how many in nursing get banned. Oh no. Okay, okay. I can see where this is going. Oh man. That was bad. Anyhow. Oh man. Uh, right now, I'm pretty sure Queen's probably, if anything gets put up there, it's just a long strand of words because her head just hit the keyboard. The keyboard's holding her head up, so she's not, so she because she's laughing so hard. That's it. Can't believe you. But so guaranteed your loved ones, they're on some heavy duty medication. Subaru, you're all right, man. I like you. Uh, so they're on some heavy duty medication. It's not anything, uh, you know, they do that because the thought is that well, they're old, who cares? And it's like one of those things that I kid you not, uh, they really almost, if you told you could just go into a nursing home and say, you know what? We're going to turn this nursing home into a drug treatment center. You don't even have to move anything out. Uh-oh, I know. Yeah, I can tell you this is not gonna. Yeah, I think I know this old one. um. So, where was I? Um. That's kind of how. I mean, that's the thought process in a nursing home. Um. They basically. What does he do? I don't know. What does that truck driver do? um. So they'll do that to your loved ones. So a lot of times, I've actually gotten upset because I know this is going on during my days in the medical field. It's like my med cart is not a vending machine. Okay, it's not a vending machine for drugs. Okay, um, and it's ridiculous how that happens. Um, and they love to do that to your loved ones. And so you could legitimately go into any nursing home you want. Welcome back, Queen. Oh, 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 Subaru, what the hell? Oh, that's a dark one now. Ooh. That's almost as bad as one joke that I used to tell in my days before I got sober. I would get someone said back in those days because before I got sober they would oftentimes say Prince Magnum you're so doggone negative sometimes we often worry if we should watch you to make sure you don't take yourself out. I said, I can't do that It would be my luck. My mortician will be a homosexual necrophiliac. Life would be still screwing me even after I was dead. And that was a joke I used to tell. There's a dark one for you. Um, Real quick, y'all know that I'm Native American, right? Uh, with the fact that I'm Native American, let me say right now, do you know why my people were here first? We had reservations. Um, it's okay to laugh at that. It's okay to laugh. Yes, yes. I kind of took a bit of that and then very good, Sean. Very good. Very good. Uh, Kind of like what some rappers will do and do sampling. I can do that with some comedy bits and still make it my own. Um, well, can't tell. Hey, it's my people need to lighten up. Okay, we get my people need to lighten up. We take things way too serious, way too serious. Which I should probably do a video about that. We take things way too serious. My people need to really lighten up. Yeah, my tribe's almost extinct, but you know what? Um, Sitting there, oh, you can't tell that joke. It's no, there's a fine line, okay? And I'll tell anybody right now, um, there's really there's a gray area in that world of of discrimination, of racism. Okay, there's a gray area. If you're making jokes and it's meant for humor, that's one thing, you know, and it's a joke. There you go, TFZ. If you know it's a joke, that's one thing. No one needs to be getting offended by it. Here we go again with the nursing home jokes. Fine one. Um, but then, but if I know that you're being hateful, taking it into that dark world, that's a whole nother ball game. Okay. So, I mean, there's that gray area. If it's meant for humor, then let's leave it there and let's have a laugh. Okay. And, that's the honest to goodness truth. You know, we need to have that laugh. Okay. Especially now. But if you're going to go beyond that point into the world of actual hatred and things like that, no, that sort of stuff needs to stop. And let me give you a fine example. Again, you know, uh, you know, uh, like yesterday, we had a couple people that were in here, and they were dropping the almost the way that they were saying things. I don't know if they were from the African American community, but I put my foot down. Exactly, hate never solved a thing. uh so I put my foot down because even if they were from the African American community, I didn't want that in my channel because there was some upstanding African American people in my channel. Okay, and to me that was disrespectful to them, so I basically got onto some people from a particular from a particular, no other nice way of saying it, from a particular race for being disrespectful to people from their own race. And it's like, no, you know, so it's, as a matter of fact, I won't say it like, but most people would be shocked to know that, if I remember correctly, it was Malcolm X's daughters that just a few years back, yeah, double standards. Malcolm X's, two daughters, and we all know who Malcolm X is, actually went on camera and said, more or less, if you guys, if the African American community is going to keep dropping the N word, then you deserve to be called the N word. And it was like, whoa. And that's Malcolm X's daughters. Okay. And we all know that what Malcolm X did. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I know we all celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but I'm a big fan of Malcolm X, okay? And so I have nothing but respect for the man, and we could really use him now. We really could use Malcolm X now. Where was I? Man, man, off on a tangent there. um, so you guys got a little bit of philosophy from from a guy wearing a nursing uniform. All right. Um, so again, so there's trappings in the medical field. Along with that, if y'all wanted the exact specifics, what caused my stroke, I'm a little sensitive about this. Uh, TFZ, drop me an email at princemagam1gmail.com. I will send you my phone number, and I'll walk you through how you do something like that. Okay. I'll walk you through because there's a lot of that double standard stuff. Come to Missouri, and I guarantee you will see it. Missouri is still the only state in the United States that I know of that is completely communism. Thank you, Sean. Drop me an email, and I will send you my phone number, and I will walk you through how to do that. Okay? Because there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. You just got to be you got to be real careful how you do it. Because most everyone gets all sensitive and everything. And the truth of it is, it's really not that hard. It's just, you got to be really, really careful where you go with it. All right. As a matter of fact, um, yeah, I won't ruin it for you. I've got some stuff that'll help you. All right. Where was I? Again, whew. Okay, what took me out of the medical field? And this is now not uncommon. Uh, as best as you can see, that scar right there, that's actually from a staph infection that I took. One of 13 that I took in 1 year. Irony, I basically had one staph infection for every year I was in the medical field, the last year of my nursing career. It was kind of like a cruel joke. And this was my first one that actually left me with a scar. And when Princess Faye first got here and we became a couple, uh, I I kind of did this number, and I said to her, I said, "Honey, I'm sorry, I'm not as handsome as I once was." And I said, I had something, I had an infection that left me with a scar, and you know, she said that that it didn't bother her and anything like that. So when I look in the mirror sometimes because of that, I still get a little upset about it. So it's one of them things. It's kind of hard to talk about at times, and so because of that, it's tough. It's tough. But that was the first one I took. Then I ended up getting one that was like right over here on my nose, and then I had one that was like you know uh, like right over here came up, was real bad, and I was all scared and everything. Then the next one I had was on my hip. So when it gets cold or the barometric pressure drops or anything like that, I've got literally on the side of my hip over here, I've got like this. You could actually take and put your finger down inside that hole, and there's just a thin layer of skin over my hip joint. So the cold weather will go right through that, and it just hurts. I try not to complain about it, but it really hurts some days. So that was so I had to go through that. Then I had one like on the side of my left leg, and then eventually I had one that was right inside uh, my ankle joint. It was inside the joint, and I spent a week in the hospital on antibiotics, and it was bad. As soon as I got one look at my foot, the doctor comes in. He says, "Prince Magnum, it looks pretty bad right now." I said, "Doc, there's no need to mince words. I've seen this rodeo before." I said, "You're probably going to have to take my foot." And he says, "Prince Magnum, I'm going to fight tooth and nail so you don't have to quit working nursing." He said, "We need good people in the medical field." And he said, "You've got years of experience. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. I don't care what it costs this hospital." He said, "Because I know you're probably not going to be able to afford it." He said, "I don't care what it'll cost this hospital. I'm going to do what I can to save you." Golly, he did. I was out of work for about a month, and I came in limping into the staffing coordinator's office, and I said, "Hey, Alma, you want a broken down old med tech to come work for you?" She's like, "You got your release papers?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to come back to work." And it started right in it. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even back to work yet, and about 2 weeks after I was released from the hospital and was still recuperating. My right, well, I'm sorry, my left foot was still recuperating. Believe it or not, I had one come up in the middle of my back. So when I got back to work, I was still healing up a staph infection that was in the center of my back, right next to my spine. And it was shortly during that time I ended up having my stroke. And I fought and fought and fought to to keep working, and they're like, we can't keep letting you do this to yourself. Maybe it's time to retire, Prince Magnum. And I was 31, and I'm like, this is what I've known my whole life. What am I supposed to do? And I didn't know what to do. So that's actually what took me out of the medical field. I cried, because it's like, what am I going to do now? This is, I mean, I did other jobs to take a break away from the medical field, but I'll tell all of you right now, I always ended up back. For the record, I was actually a trash man at one time during my time in the medical field. That was a cool job. I also worked in demolition. Of course, I also did a stint with McDonald's. Worked at a pizzeria once. So I've done some pretty neat stuff, some pretty cool stuff. But I was actually also a salesman at one point. I was a furniture salesman at one time, you know, which is pretty cool. Um, so that took me out of the medical field. So how long have I been at McDonald's this time around? I have been with McDonald's this. Hang on. This September will be a total of 6 years I've worked for McDonald's. And in that time, um, this December will be 4 years I've been a McDonald's maintenance man. And as a matter of fact, I'm one of the go-to guys. If they want to train somebody in one of the other stores, it's not uncommon. They might send me to one of the other stores. Like, over in Farmington, there's two McDonald's. Well, they'll send me to the other one across town over on Columbia, which we don't call it that. The Columbia McDonald's, that's not what we call it. We call it Farm 2. Over at the other store, we're Farm 1. And that's because that's the original location, the first location. So uh, if you ever wonder, what do we call it? So we always say that's the Columbia location in Farmington is Farm 2 or Farmington 2. But we always just shorten it to Farm 2. Um, but I've actually been up there and trained some of their people before, and just stuff that's on maintenance. And of course, while that was going, there was that day that I did that. I was up there training one of their maintenance men, and then I was going around working on some of their stuff, doing some extra stuff and fixing things, and then along with that, uh, during while I was training, helping them, train someone on maintenance. They also had me helping train somebody to the cash register on counter. So that was cool. That was a lot of fun. So yeah. So for the record, right now, because of my time in the medical field, let me say right now, with that time I've been in the medical field, that every day that I'm at work during this pandemic, I spend a lot of time cleaning and disinfecting. Matter of fact, before the store even opens, I'm out there in the lobby cleaning and disinfecting, and then I'll go through drive-through with customers. Sometimes I'll say I'm disinfecting the windows, hoping that nobody gets sick. I said I don't know what's coming through here anymore. I said so I'm gonna go. If you don't mind, I'll walk alongside your vehicle and then I'll disinfect the windows as we go. And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. Most everyone is like, yeah, you're doing your job, trying to keep us all safe. So that probably means I'm going to be the first one at work to get it. Of all the things, I actually cough when I'm saying that. Oh my gosh, that'd be horrible. So I probably, yeah, I'd hate. I told them at work. I said, y'all know I'm probably going to be the first one that gets it, right? They're like, yeah, probably. Please don't say that though, because you have, you've been going above and beyond trying to, and it'd be horrible if anything happened to you. And I said, well, I'm like a cockroach. I'm hard to kill. So because of that, that's the honest goodness truth. So when you're talking about the medical field, staph infections, if you haven't been in the medical field for 6 months and had a staph infection, you're working, you're awfully lucky. You have gotten really lucky. So in my particular case, it was like the last few years in the medical field that staph just really, really got, um, to say the least, it got very aggressive and it started getting us all. And it really liked me for some reason. And which is weird because, the staphylococcus that causes those wounds and eats holes in you like that. Um, what's weird about that is it likes to eat fat tissue, and there's really not a whole lot of fat on me, so I don't get that. But it ate. Oh man, it was horrible. Um, and then along with that, because we see what real quick. You hear me use the term residents, okay? Now in the medical field and in hospitals and doctors' offices and things like that, there's actual titles that come. So when you go into one of these facilities, there's an actual title that goes to you, okay? If you are going into a place for short-term care and you're staying there, okay? For example, if you go into like a treatment center, or if you're going into a doctor's office, or you're going, somewhere like that, or some sort of medical treatment center, okay? And you're going to be staying there for a short period of time, but you're going home. You're a client, okay? You're a client with that place. So if you go into, say, like a treatment center and you're going to be there for 28 days, you're a client, okay? Um, if you go into a hospital and they're going to be treating you with an aggressive treatment because you're sick or there's something that has happened to you, if you're in a hospital, an actual hospital, you are a patient, okay? But if you come into a nursing home, it does not matter the nursing home. If you are going to be there for a long time for some sort of care, I don't care if it's an RCF, which is, a residential care facility, um, or you're going into a long-term care facility like what I did, you are a resident. Okay, so that's the difference. So there's actual levels of what you actually are whenever you go into a place like this. Yes, honey.
Where did you put the soup I asked you to pull out earlier?
You asked me to pull. I don't remember that. I do not remember that. I'm a dead man later. Uh, So if you ever wondered about that, if you ever, so basically, if you work, so in nursing homes, if your people are residents, if you work in a hospital, they're patients, and if you work in anything else, they're clients. Okay. So if you've ever, rest in peace, respect. Oh man, uh, Sean. So if you ever wondered about that, that's how it actually works. Now, uh, working in nursing, if you're a guy working in nursing, them little old ladies, sometimes you had to watch them. They got a little handsy, a little too handsy. Uh-oh. I don't remember her saying that at all. I'm telling you all, I don't remember. Okay. Um, I think I would have remembered that. Uh, so now that we've talked about that, them little old ladies would get the guys got the male residents, you had to watch them. They would get handsy with the women. Of course, if you had long hair like me, I had to be careful too, because sometimes guys would start to try to get handsy with me, and I would often say, I'm the wrong gender. I'm no. And then I would they're like, oh shoot, thank you for telling me before I made a fool of myself. Yeah. Ain't right. Ain't right. Anyhow, um, so that was just one of those things working in nursing. Um, you know, we all have, if you worked in the medical field for any, I am not cutting my hair, thank you very much. uh, well, no, I'm not cutting my hair. Um, I look weird with short hair, okay? I'm telling you. Besides, if I cut my hair, then what would happen to the Saturday night drag lives? Okay, it just wouldn't work, you know. But anyhow, while working in nursing, I oftentimes seen where um, a lot of my coworkers got caught up in drugs. And I was one that got drug into alcohol, and I a lot of us slept around because we were looking for that someone who understood. And it was not uncommon that we slept around with our coworkers, and we had someone at home waiting for us. So I will admit, yes, I did do that too. And it's like, why did I do that? And it was just because I was looking for some sort of comfort from the fact that, I lived around people who were dying all the time. And the stress of the normal stresses that you see in the medical field are doubled because the people that you're taking care of, they're going to be gone. So um, I remember at the age of 19 years old, holding a woman's hand who had no family. There was no family. We were her family. I was holding her hand when she took her last breath, 19 years old. And I took care of this woman every day, you know. So that was difficult. Um, so again, if you've never, so if you've ever wondered, I would have became an alcoholic anyways, but I honestly believe my time in the medical field kind of sped it up a little bit. So it did, I will openly admit. All right, TFC, I appreciate you at least lurking for me. I appreciate you, man. Um, so again, back to so I, if you will, because I seen things like this every day. Uh, I seen things like this every day. I drank, and then uh, I would sleep with my female coworkers to forget what was, because I couldn't go home and talk about it. My other half didn't understand, and I wanted to sleep with someone who understood, that sort of thing. That's how we all get caught up in it. As a matter of fact, I was actually talking to somebody. Thank you for the 12th like. I was actually talking to, hey, what's going on? Fleming, the ultimate grave take. Well, Felming. I'm sorry. I keep getting that messed up. Yeah, I got like some sort of dyslexia sort of thing. Anyhow, um, so that's exactly what we dealt with, in the medical field. So if you worked in nursing homes, that was one, those three things were the trappings. And of course, some of us also got caught up in gambling. I've seen a lot of us get caught up in gambling. So, your usual addictions, but alcoholism as well. And along with that, just sleeping around, you know, which again, I know some of y'all are like, okay, so you slept with some of your coworkers? Yeah, back in the day, which for the record, Princess Faye has actually told me, you guys are going to laugh about this. She's often asked me, have you ever thought about going back to the medical field? I said, I've thought about it, quite a few times. And then when she heard this, she's like, you're not going back to the medical field ever, ever. You are done. You stay retired because, the trappings. And so again, I kind of slept around with all of my female, and I was just talking to someone, that is still a thing. That is still a thing. That's still one of the trappings in the medical field. And I said, I looked at her, I said, you know why that is? She said, yeah, because we're just looking for something to kind of help us forget what we see every day. I said, exactly. I said, you know, there are nurses, LPNs and RNs that will go into nursing, go through all that schooling, and then come out, end up as a drug addict, get busted for it for stealing drugs from their facility, and end up on the blacklist, so they can never work nursing again. And it's all just because of the things that you see and deal with on a daily basis. So if that's any indication, a lot of trappings in the medical field. And for the record, those of us in the medical field that even if we don't get caught up into the usual trappings, we drink too much coffee, we smoke too many cigarettes, and we don't take care of ourselves very much. I was going through medtech training. I used to say Wheaties. They say Wheaties is the breakfast of champions. That's BS. Everybody knows that the breakfast of champions is coffee, candy bars, and cigarettes. That was actually what I said at 19 years old. While I was in medtech training. Coffee, candy bars, and cigarettes. That's the real. That's the real. You know, that's the real breakfast of champions. Um, Maybe sometime. All right, you know what I might have to do sometime? I might have to make homemade candy bars sometime. That'd be all right, right? Y'all let me. I think, yeah, Princess Faye likes it whenever I make homemade candy bars. We could do that. We could do that. I know Gamer, and every time it comes up, he's like, bake a cake. It's like, Gamer, you're going to get me killed, man. She's already threatened to beat the brakes off of me for some of the ornery stuff that I do. Yeah. So yeah, think different. He'll tell you in this area. There's people actually know me from McDonald's, but before that time, I worked in the medical field all those years. Every once in a while, I'll still see one of my old coworkers. Hopefully, not one that I'll tell you about awkward. Seeing one of my coworkers from back in the old days when I worked nursing standing next to my wife. You want to talk about awkward? Ooh, candy, right? uh, yeah. You ever want to talk about awkward? Be standing. Yes. Yes, I used to work there. I used to work there a long time ago. I used to work at Camelot Nurse. Yeah, long time ago. Long time. I was there for 5.5 years. Long. Oh my gosh. I got stories. I got stories. Uh, let's see. Yeah, we won't talk about the time in the clean utility room. The floor was slick and I kept falling on her.
You're really going to be telling those stories?
No, dear. But I am talking about the trappings of the medical field.
I don't want to hear any more about your cheating or whatever, okay?
Yes, dear.
Got it?
Yes, dear.
Do you?
Yes. And y'all just heard me get in trouble. Yep. So that's again, there's trappings in the medical field, as you just started to hear me joke about and get into trouble. Uh, that's just because, again, we were, no one talks about this. Yeah, I've tried the zero candy bar. I'm not a big fan of that one. Actually, for candy bars, I'm more of a Reese's kind of guy myself. Be honest with you. Um, but y'all got to remember, that's the trappings, okay? And no one talks about that. Everyone talks about, how the people. Oh, I'm always in trouble. Y'all just don't know that. Um, so if no one talks about what the people in the nursing homes that work the nursing homes uh, face every day. No one talks about that. They all talk about how the residents get treated. And let me tell you, if there is no safety for nursing staff in nursing homes, there is no safety. If you've got a loved one that decides to beat the brakes off of a nurse, yeah, well, not all the time, just some of the time. Uh, uh, there is no safety net for your loved ones, okay? If a resident, if a resident decides to go off the deep end and beat the brakes off of someone in nursing, the nursing home won't cover it, okay? And they won't let you take that resident's family to court. And this is the stupidity of nursing homes. And I don't know how it is elsewhere, but here there's actually a list of resident rights. What the federal government says is actual rights that are allotted to people that live inside of nursing homes. And one of the things that it says is they have the right to be treated like everybody else outside of what? Stop sign. Outside of outside of the that live outside of the nursing homes. So that means that they're also under the same laws, that they have to abide by the same laws. So if a resident decides to beat the brakes off of a nurse, anyone working the nursing department, legally that person who's working nursing can call the police and have that resident arrested. But if you do that, you lose your job, okay? And that's the honest to goodness truth. So nursing homes do not protect those working in the medical field. They do not protect them, but no one talks about that. No one mentions that, okay? They all want to talk about how the residents get treated badly. And with this pandemic going on, oh, believe me, my people are in danger right now. All it takes is one person to come in infected. Not only does it wipe out the population of that nursing home, but it'll wipe out the nursing staff too, because they're just as much in contact. So no one, again, talks about this, okay? And people, so that's why I'm saying that this is a scary time for anyone working in nursing. And I worry about those folks because I know what they're dealing with. And again, for 13 years, with all the trappings and everything, I do have wonderful stories. Those people who are fantastic, but no one talks about this stuff. This is the stuff that everyone's like is sweeping under the rug. And let's worry about the people that are living there. No, the people that work there have it just as bad. And in some cases, it's worse. So that's why I'm saying, you know, I want people to work the medical field. I want there to be more CNAs to work in long-term care facilities. But if you've ever thought about it, I'm going to tell you the honest to goodness truth. There is no laws to protect those in uniform. Okay. They don't care about you. Okay. At day's end, you are just a means to take care of the people who are making their paycheck. Okay. And right now with this pandemic, it scares me half to death. Okay. Because of the fact that there is no way to protect those folks that are still in uniform in those nursing homes and in those hospitals. It was just a couple of weeks ago that up in New York, there was a woman who contracted the virus, went into her ICU care unit, and did not know. And when she discovered she had the virus, so one of my people, one of those that worked in works in nursing, she did not know how many people she could have possibly infected, and she could not take it and took her own life. Believe me when I say it breaks my heart that and no one's talking about it. No one's talking about the fact that there are people that face this every day in the same uniform, just like I was once in. I do not envy those folks right now. I do not envy them. And again, you still have the usual trappings: alcoholism, drug addiction, sleeping around with people that you probably shouldn't be, and getting into dangerous situations. So, and no one talks about this, okay? And but yet, you know, the folks that are living in those nursing homes, we have special legislation for them and things like that, but no one talks about. As a matter of fact, the last nursing home I worked in, Camelot Nursing Home, the biggest reason why they pushed me out of there was not just because of my stroke, but because I started speaking out about how we were being treated poorly. If you passed medicine in that nursing home, you were at risk of losing your certificate. Hey, what's going on, Princess of Ailey? Y'all need to check this gal out. She pops in regularly and just real good gal. I haven't been over to her channel in a while. I need to get over there. But I started speaking out about that fact. I said, because they gave us these med carts that were made of flimsy plywood, and we were supposed to keep the narcotic medications under lock. I'm like, how are you supposed to do that with such a flimsy med cart? And you could literally take the drawer out of the medicine cart. Okay. So I was constantly at risk. And they're like, yeah, you need to retire, because you're stoked. No, we've got, something else that you can do, you know. So that was the honest to goodness truth. That's the honest to goodness truth. Okay. I'll tell, um, the last year of my time in the medical field, 13 years in, um, what happened was I took a staph infection for every year I was in the medical field. Okay. Um, so for every year I was in, I ended up having 13 staph infections my last year of nursing. It was kind of like a cruel joke. The first one that I got, and I don't know how well y'all will be able to see, but I'll do my very, very best. There we go. If you could look right here, I have this scar that's kind of right there. And that was from my very first staph infection. What happened was I got the staph infection and it ate a hole right inside my cheek uh, and left me with that horrible scar. Um, for the record, I still get a little sensitive every time I look in the mirror um, because I had the whole baby face thing going at that time. Um, that being said, um, that was the first one. And I forget, it was around like the 10th one. Thank you, Princess. and of course, that I had been out of the hospital. Oh, it is what it is, you know. Uh, I ended up going into the hospital because I had a staph infection that was inside the joint of my ankle. It was, and when I was laying in that hospital bed, the doctor comes in and he says, "It doesn't look good." And I said, "Doc," I said, "you do not need to mince words with me." And I said, "I work at Camelot Nursing Home." It was perfectly okay to ask, perfectly okay to ask. Um, I'm laying there in that bed and I said, "I'll be absolutely honest with you. I've seen this show before." And I told him where I worked. And I said, "I'm a CNA CMT." I said, "I've seen this show before." I said, "I'm going to lose my foot." And he said, he says, "Prince Magnum, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that you don't." He said, "But no, you're right. It doesn't look good." Um, I was scared. Believe me, I was scared. Um, I wasn't even out of the hospital 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks, and the I ended up uh, dealing with yet another staph infection. Basically at one point, I had one. I had a staph infection that was in the middle of my back, right next to my spine, and it was like my 10th one. And I was at work actually, and I was actually getting ready to walk down a hall. I was getting ready to go talk to my. No, I was getting ready to take somebody some medicine. Uh, Basically, it was a resident, that every 4 hours on that hour was asking for narcotic medication that they really should have been taken off probably around a year before this. Um, they really did not need to be on that much narcotic medication. But again, doctors like doctors that have residents inside of nursing homes like to turn them into addicts. So I was walking down the hall, and I mean, it just felt like the building was spinning. And I felt really funny. And I walked up to my charge nurse and I said, "I don't feel right," all of a sudden. And she's like, "Well, the whole left side of your face is kind of slack jawed." And if you ever notice, most of the time you guys don't really notice, but when you'll actually notice sometimes that this eye droops a little bit more than the other. That's the end result, because what you said, you don't look right. The whole left side of your face is kind of drooped a little bit. And I said, I don't. I said, "I don't feel right." And she's like, "You just had a stroke." And she sat me down, started checking my vitals and everything, and there was nothing that could be done. As a matter of fact, I had a couple days off, and I spent the entire weekend with my arm jammed in my side like this, my left arm. Imagine trying to play World of Warcraft like this, and trying to move your hand. It was hard. Um, and I knew that that was it took me a few days. I got over it, and I could start releasing my arm. I actually had a bruise right over here because of how hard my arm had drawn up like that. And I could there's still a good part of the left side of my body that does not feel anything. And um as a matter of fact, if I look at a lot of flashing lights for very long, it's like someone took several layers of cellophane and put it over my left eye, so I have a hard time. I could still see, but it's like my vision is foggy, and so I have a hard time seeing through it. Then on top of that, there are times that I will be reading something, and I know I'm reading it, and I understand. Good to see you, princess. I see it and I know I understand it, but my brain is just not able to comprehend it. So I was trying to keep working in nursing, but it got to the point where I knew I was going to have to retire. And basically, because I started speaking out about how Southbrook was treating those who passed medicine by basically making them work with medicine carts and medicine cabinets that were. Oh, thank you, honey.
It's really hot. Be careful.
Okay.
Throw that in there so it starts softening up too.
Alrighty.
There you go.
I need a safe spot for it.
You need a safe spot? Is that a safe spot?
I don't know.
Not
It's safe. It's
more
safe now.
like a critter around.
But Princess Faye's taco soup. Um, and then of course I made some homemade bread and she sliced that up and that's kind of like the croutons now for the soup. But I started speaking out about it, about the treatment and everything, and I was have problems with my heart. Here, I'll show you. Prince Magnum's homemade bread with Princess Faye's taco soup. Huh? Homemade taco soup at that. Um, so I'm gonna ask her if she'll do the live a live cooking and show you all. Okay? You want? Okay. Well, I know Queen, you don't live too terrible. I know you live one state away from me, and I think you're an yeah, you'll be right. That's awesome. Um, so after all of that, basically they're like, yeah, it's time for you to retire. And I'm like, you guys are getting rid of me because I started speaking out. And most people would be shocked to know this. I was speaking out so strongly against Southbrook. I was trying to organize, I was actually getting ready to start talking to union reps. I was getting ready to organize a union rep that if they did not, yeah, save it till Galaxy sees it. That or Taver. Taver will eat anything. He's my little Mikey of the of the kitty cat world. He'll eat anything. I'm not kidding you. Um, but he loves eating potato chips. That's his favorite. He loves potato chips. I got a cat that eats potato chips. Um, he'll eat anything. Any, but yeah, so that was my last. So basically, I got pushed out. I tried factory work. I hated that, and then finally, I okay, Queen. And then finally ended up at McDonald's. But yeah, there is no safety, no real safety to protect. Feed him lasagna like Garfield. He might do it. He might do it. But there is no true safety for nursing staff, especially in nursing homes. There is no actual. They do not take care of us. Um, you know, uh, they just really don't. They really don't. Um, there is, they'll say something like, if anyone was to get sick while, with the virus, while working nursing, guaranteed, guaranteed the first thing they'd say, well, you should have washed your hands more. And it's like, no, it's everywhere in this nursing home. Not your problem. They would not cover you, would not cover you. Some of them might now because I'm speaking out, but for the most part, no, they won't cover you. Uh, the medical field does not really take care of its own. We have to take care of our own. And like I said, in nursing, we talked about the trappings and everything, and I started to make jokes about it. Um, but that's the honest to goodness truth. Because of everything we deal with and everything like that. Yeah. No one actually talks about the real issues in nursing. And the real issues is because of the folks that are actually in uniform, not in an office, we get treated like crap. Okay. Currently, for the record, after everything that I've dealt with, after all the years that I've been out of uniform, the state of Missouri, those that are in charge of keeping track of the nursing certificates and everything like that, have decided to keep my certificates active, even though I haven't worked in the field for so long. They have decided to keep in case I want to come back. I am not going back right now. I won't go back because number one, I don't think Princess Faye could deal with the trappings of the medical field, and I don't think she could deal with the fact that how scary it is. That was not a joke. That was straight up, you know.
No, I know.
And I know,
I'm just listening. I didn't want to walk away yet. I listened to what you were saying.
because you kind of had that look like you were gonna.
Concentration.
Oh, okay,
I pulled a U. Sorry.
okay. You pulled a me. Okay, there for a second, I thought you were gonna.
No.
um, you know, so it's one of those things that, you know, because of those trappings, I don't think she could deal with the, you know, me falling into that whole world again. Because I know may not necessarily. Uh, it would be easy to get caught up in it again. It would be easy to get caught up in a lot of that stuff again. And you know, as horrible as it sounds, I mean, you know, you see it every day, and then here these folks are going in there dealing with the virus. Uh, you know, I wouldn't want to do it again. And now that all of you know this, you know, the next time you see one of those guys in you know, one of those guys or gals in uniform, you'll know that they are dealing with that work the nursing homes. You know they're going to see some scary stuff. They're going to see some stuff that no one will listen to them. How do you go home and say that one of my favorite residents just passed away today, and I don't know what to do? I feel like I just lost my best friend. Your other half's not going to understand. You know, not going to really get that. They're just going to, oh, you know, my favorite person fell today and broke their hip, and you know, their dementia is bad, and I don't know if they're going to make it. You know, have something like this happen where in 1 minute, you know, you're sending one of your, you know, your residents that you got close to the hospital for a broken hip, and then walk down the hall two more rooms, and then you've got one that may passed away. I've actually had this happen. You know, had a day like this, and then another one gets sick with pneumonia, and you got to send them to the hospital. And then, you know, and then you get one back from the hospital, and they got a huge wound in their back because while at the hospital they didn't take care of your person. No one talks about that either. How the hospitals get away with a lot of stuff, and then everyone's watching the nursing homes. No one talks about that either. Yeah, I'm looking over at you, Parkland Hospital. Yeah, I said it. Um, you know, so there's a lot of stuff like that, and no one talks about it. No one talks about it. You know, this has been one that I have been threatening to talk about for a long time, because it's made me mad all these years that the last facility I worked in, I was pushed out because I spoke out because it was all about politics there. Politics. They gave us these flimsy, you know, giving us these flimsy med cards that we couldn't protect our certificates with. And then when you spoke out about it, oh, well, you know, that's what. Oh, they were shut down because Parkland bought them out and then shut them down. That's why they were shut down. Parkland bought them out, which I will tell you right now, um, Mineral Area used to have the best, um, you know, OB ward, the best, you know, the best nurseries and OB wards ever. They had the best. They were 1,000 times better than Parkland. I will tell anybody that. That Mineral Area had the best. I feel horrible for any woman that has to trust Parkland Hospital for their OB ward. Okay, I hate to say it because Mineral Area was better. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And again, you know, this area has suffered since Mineral Area has shut down. Um, but I will say that Parkland Hospital does have a good ER unit. They do have a good ER unit. But other than that, no. Um, that's about it. Really. That's over in Farmington now. I will tell you right now, the best hospital we got in the area is here in Bonne Terre. We got the best. We have the best hospital. I'll tell you that hands down, bar none. Bonne Terre has the best, is the best hospital we got. Um, but yeah, that's why Mineral Area Hospital got shut down. Parkland bought them out and then shut them down. So I will tell you right now, if you need to go to a hospital in the St. Francis County area, do not go to the one in Farmington.
I just wanted to let you know you were at 2 hours.
Yeah, the timer up here in the corner. I don't know if you mean. Yeah, you're making me pay attention. I love you, babe. I wouldn't have her any other way. Wouldn't have her any other way. And of course, she'll get on to me about my old days in nursing. When I start talking about the things that I shouldn't have been doing. You know, um, awkward. And talking about um, So yeah, um, again, most people don't talk about this stuff, and like I said, doctors like to take your loved ones that you put in nursing homes and like to turn them into drug addicts. And if you try to corner that doctor, oh, they need it. They need it. Doctors get kickbacks when they write prescriptions like that. They get kickbacks from the drug companies. Yeah, no one talks about that either. And you're sitting there going, why is this person on this, this, and this? Oh, they're in a lot of pain. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you. Right now, think different. Think different. It lives in this area, and I will tell you that yeah, you don't take them to Farmington Parkland. You take them to Bonne Terre now. Okay, they have the best hospital now. Okay, Mineral area was good. I couldn't tell you what their ICU was like, but I can tell you right now. I will. I trust. I trust Bonne Terre Hospital. I trust them hands down, bar none. I will tell you right now, if I was to get sick right now, that's where I would go, is to tell them, what am I supposed to do at this point? Straight up honest. What am I supposed to do? Um, that's the honest to goodness truth. Most Welcome back, Queen. But yeah, uh, doctors will turn residents into drug addicts and then get them hooked on the drugs. And as a matter of fact, uh, the joke that all of us had my last year in nursing, before my stroke, the last joke that we had was if all of a sudden, right? Um, I don't know. I've been away long enough where there's some doctors I just don't know if they're like that now. Uh, I know Dr. Monez was never like that. He really knew his stuff. But other than that, I honestly could not. I couldn't tell you now. There's Because the landscape has changed so much. But for the record, this is all across the U.S. So if you ever wondered where the narcotic medication is going, yeah, writing hot scripts, yeah. Um, if you ever wondered where all the narcotic medication's going, it's going to your loved ones that are in a nursing home. They're pumping them full of it and then keeping them hooked on that stuff. And because the drug companies are paying doctors to do it. Okay. And then on top of that, you know, they'll even send them to pain centers, pain centers to pump them full of medication. And which that brings me to my personal favorite thing that I love to say about the United States. We do not have health care in the United States. We have sick care. Okay. We do not have health care. We have sick care. Um, so I'm going to say that, and we're seeing it now. We're seeing it now. But the honest to goodness truth is they do not protect the people that work in the that the actual rank and file people that wear these uniforms. They do not protect them. There is no legislation to protect them. And if all of them said, well, let's union, there would be a panic across the US. Okay. There is no safety net for us. There is no safety net. And look at me, 13 years in, and I really can't do it anymore. And I know a lot of nursing homes, now, well, they not now, really mad at me for coming out and saying this stuff. I can't believe would say that about our. No, it's the honest goodness truth, and you know it. You know, you in administration inside those nursing homes, you know better than the stuff that you put us through. Okay, and yes, I'm looking over there at you, Southbrook. You guys knew what was happening to me. You did nothing to protect me. You guys didn't take care of me. I'm still dealing with those doctor's bills, and that was back all the way back in 2011. You guys didn't do anything to protect me. Okay, and I was there for 3 years. Okay, um, so yes, I openly said it. you know, on top of that, you know, you guys put our certificates at risk, and you put nurses at risk. Yeah, they knew it. They knew what they were doing, and I spoke out against them. For the record, here in Missouri, if a nursing home is being looked at for possible negligence, I know for a fact that some nursing homes will grease the palms of state reps investigating them. Will grease their palms and sweep it under the table. They do that in Missouri. I know that for a fact. As a matter of fact, my grandmother may have died. The one that passed away back in that we buried on my 14-year sobriety birthday. There's an excellent chance that it was negligence that killed her. You know it. You know it. That it may have been negligence that killed her, and it was not. It was one of those things that it was a brand new girl working that department, and she should not have been left alone because she did not have the experience. What's up, Think Different? You got to tell me. You got to tell me. You say, guess what, real quick, you got to tell me now. And for the record, I stayed sober through my stroke. That's right. It is a beautiful day to be sober. But yeah, in all honesty, I mean, it is a beautiful day to, Sean Chicken Butt. um, they nearly, basically my job nearly killed me once, and there is no positive treatment for those that were, we need good people. Love you guys. We need good people in the medical field, but here in the United States, just know that you do it at a risk. Okay, it nearly killed me, and uh, the nursing home administration gets away with way too much, and it's high time someone spoke out against them, and I just did. So I know I'm probably not going to be exactly welcome, back into a nursing home to work behind a med cart. But I know full well that someone had to say it. Okay. The reason why you get you get the occasional bad apple that mistreats a resident inside of a nursing home, but it's not as bad as you think it is. That's the media. That's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. Uh, you know, but the honest to goodness truth is that in the medical field does not really take care of its nursing staff. We are at risk, and those we genuinely do care. So if you love people, yeah, the medical field is definitely for you. And more in particular, if you love taking care of people, nursing is for you. Just know you do so at a risk. You do so at a risk. So again, if you ever wondered why, this eye kind of droops a little bit, it's because of a stroke. And the medical field did it to me. And there was no taking care of me. The nursing homes will, they won't take care of you. They won't take care of you. Eventually, I personally think that the nursing homes should actually go in front of should actually go in front of Congress and demand that the nursing homes actually take care of their people. That, again, um, I actually have a dear friend that Princess Faye actually met. No, no, nothing happened, but we were good friends. She actually, while pregnant, had a resident attack her while pregnant, and she could have miscarried, but she didn't. She was very lucky. But that nursing home did nothing to protect her. It was like, well, you got to take care of them, pregnant or not, and they're a combative resident. And it's like, this person actually needs to go to the state hospital. We're not equipped for this. You know, and, and as a matter of fact, I was taking a tour of the nursing home because I'd just gotten hired on. I seen this. And I looked right at the director of nursing, said, I wasn't supposed to see that, was I? She said, no, you weren't. Not a joke. Not a joke. Yeah. So people don't talk about that. These are the things that no one talks about. Um, she was one that got caught into the trappings. She didn't have a problem with drugs or alcohol, but she got caught in that third trapping. But thankfully, I have no stories about her. Um, as a matter of fact, she actually did work at a facility. There is one guy who owns a lot of nursing homes in the St. Francis County area. He actually paid for out of pocket for her cancer treatment. So and I know there's been a lot of people that said bad about that guy, but if he was willing, when he seen her break down and cry when she found out, got the phone call at work that she had cancer, he said, "We're going to take care of you." So I don't know where people can even say that man is horrible. What it boiled down to is he was actually having to clean house because some of his staff was really bad. Um, no one talks about that. you know, oh well, he just went down you and you. You're out of here. No. So yeah, no one talked about that. That it was he was trying to figure out why, who the problem children were, because it was those basically you get those bad apples in nursing. You get those bad apples and trying to find those bad apples because we're also a tight-lipped group. Um, there's only there's almost like this don't ask, don't tell policy in the in nursing, because we have those trappings. It's very tight knit, tight knit group. So I know I can go up to some of my medical staff friends and be, just fine. I can walk into a nursing home in uniform. Oh, do you work here? No, I don't. But I'm a CNA CMT. Man, make yourself at home. Hey, check it out. Check this out. Oh man, it's nice to meet you. It's where that camaraderie. Don't say a whole lot. But finally, one of us had to speak up and say it. So yeah, if you listen to the media, oh, we treat the residents bad. No, nursing home staff gets treated badly, and our pay is horrible, horrible, absolutely bad. Let me put it to you like this: 13 years in nursing. My last year of nursing, working at one facility for 3 years. Right now, working with McDonald's, I make more working with McDonald's than I did in nursing ever. Yeah. You could start off working at McDonald's minimum wage, and within a couple of after a couple of reviews, and get maybe, we'll just say, a 10-cent raise at that point, and you would be making as much as a CNA in any one of the facilities I in our area. Yes, CNAs are the bottom rung, and they get crapped on. It is yeah. Med techs usually don't get paid much more than that. LPNs and RNs, they do make more money, but it isn't much. Usually LPNs and RNs. Yes, that's a story I'll have to tell sometime. That's a story in itself I'll have to tell sometime. But yeah, yeah, there's nothing against the Deloge location. I wouldn't mind working at the Deloge location. It would be an awful lot closer to home, and they do make a little. They're under different owner operators, but I do like the owner operators I work under right now. There's good and bad about them. I can't say nothing bad about them really. I mean, like anywhere else, there's things that I wish they did, and then things that I wish they didn't. But overall, I do like them. They treat me good. They do their best to treat me good. Um, Especially with me working in maintenance, I oftentimes work a little closer to the owner operators. And that sort of, as a matter of fact, I tease our owner operators all the time. Um, I came in one day from power washing the parking lot and walked right up to because the owner operators that owns our location is a husband and wife. Well, I walked up to the of the couple, and he's got this really nice looking Ford Focus RS, and I walked right up to him and I said, "Hey, Gary." While I was outside power washing the parking lot, I went ahead and power washed your car. That is the prettiest looking silver I ever seen. His car's blue. Uh, and he just, thanks. He knew I was teasing. He's like, why me? And I said, he's like, that's real funny, real funny, man. And I started laughing. I said, you do know because you're the owner operator, I have to tease you a lot harder. And he's like, thank you so much. And I said, well, consider it a perk of the job. And he's like, oh God. But he's got a Ford Focus ST. Those are nice. Sometime I'll actually have to do the Ford Falcon family tree because in the Ford Falcon family tree from the '60s, the Maverick took over for the Ford Falcon. The Ford Maverick and Mercury Comet. Then it was the Ford Fairmont, and if you follow it all the way up through its lineage, the end of the Ford Falcon family tree, the last of the family tree was the Ford Focus. And when I tell people that, I was like, your car is a direct descendant of the Ford Maverick. And when I look at someone on the Ford, they're like, really, man. 6 speed. Oh, 6 speed standard. I got a 3 speed standard in mine. Just 3 gears is all I need. I'd mess up a 6 speed. Gears are too close together. But anyhow, but yeah, so I wanted to go live and tell this one because I didn't want to pull any punches. There's no sense of sitting on camera and record that. I'm going to tell it as it is. And I figured that we're getting close for me to shut down and we say goodbye to In Your Face and just keep this as a positive channel because, well, In Your Face ended up becoming alternate media, and I don't want to do alternate media. I will expose politicians, but alternate media is not the route that I want to go. Exposing politicians and corruption, that's one thing. But no, I didn't want to get caught up in that, and I did get caught up in it, and did some good, that sort of thing. As a matter of fact, I went live in a live stream and spoke out against um, the last prosecutor we had in our area and exposed him um, because after a police officer friend of mine, and we voted him out. We voted him out, and we got one in there who's actually really good, and she's actually having to investigate everything from the last prosecutor's for his administration. So she's actually been investigating for a good little while. Which, with all the elections on hold, that same friend that he was bullying, who was a police officer, is now running for sheriff. Uh, Officer Ryan Miller, he's running for sheriff. So as soon as the elections are back up, I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it. I think the county could really use him as sheriff. I think he'll really do some good. He's an amazing guy, just a dear friend of mine, and I have nothing but good to say about him. And if anyone ever says anything bad about him, I would be very, very angry with them. I would be very angry with them, you know. Just like the police chief over here in Bonne Terre. I know some people who said some bad things about him. And I had a few rough dealings with him in the early days of the Prince Magnum channel, but then after him and I talked, and we kind of worked that stuff out. He's been nothing but kind to me. As a matter of fact, the police department, anytime they hear of anything happening over in this area, they'll patrol an awful lot closer to the area because they're like, that's our guy, Prince Magnum over there. We got to watch out for him and Project Spirit. So because of the trappings of the In Your Face series, what it was initially designed for was to kind of tell people as it is, to tell the truth about some things and to kind of get people, to teach people things that just aren't being taught properly. There's an entire generation that's being, that is the butt of just about every joke on Facebook, and it isn't right because they just weren't taught. And there's actually a generation between my generation, Generation X, and the baby boomers that was the ones that did it, did it to them. There's actually like a small generation that is oftentimes forgotten about.
We talked about that. That was found to be inaccurate.
They keep changing it, but these particular folks that basically slapped the love, peace, and the love and peace logos on the side of a lunchbox, and that was the end of the actual hippie movement. And no one talks about them. They're the ones that did it and did it to the millennial generation in the school. So I was going to that was what In Your Face was designed for, was to tell that generation, this is what you didn't get taught about life, and to help. And that's not what it ended up being. So we're going to say goodbye to this series because it ended up getting dragged through the mud because of the fact that there's a lot of corruption here in Missouri, and I've done my part to expose it. It's up to everybody else to do something about it. That's the honest to goodness truth. It's up to everybody else to do something about it. I can only do so much. I could tell y'all, about, corrupt politicians. Children's division here in Missouri is an absolute joke. They had it right originally. Division of Family Services. They had it right. And the one in St. Francis County is so corrupt that I will say there are more criminals working in Family Services right here in St. Francis County. No. In Your Face is literally designed as the education, the tell it how it is education side of the Prince Magnum channel. That's actually what it was designed to be, and it ended up getting caught up in alternate media. But here in St. Francis County, there are more criminals working in the children's division than there are than say over in Bonne Terre Prison. There are more working. I guarantee it. There are more criminals working in that office than there is over there than over in county jail right now. There are more criminals. I'm not kidding you. They will lie under oath. They will lie under oath. And judges will let them get away with it. That's why we got rid of Judge Sandy Martinez too, because she let them get away with it. I spoke out against her. She needs to she needs to be brought up on charges, but that doesn't happen. No one talks about that. See what I mean? What In Your Face is actually designed for? Well, what it wasn't designed for, and I got caught up and stuff like that, and I just said I lost my taste for it, and ironically enough, Princess Faye and I said, okay, this is the last year for it. So on February, well, I'm sorry, on January 1st, um, 2021, that's the last day that In Your Face will exist, just because of the fact that I had to expose a lot of politicians. Um, for the record, racism still exists here in Missouri. They're racist against Native Americans. That's why my children aren't here right now. But again, no one talks about that. And do y'all wonder how, if you ever wondered how hard is it to to stay positive here on the Prince Magnum channel? Some days it's a big challenge. When you had stuff like this happen to you, and to stay sober, but I've done it. I've done it. So if you ever wondered, can you stay sober when tragedy strikes? That's up to you. How bad do you want it? I guess that's a big reason why they have a problem with me, is because being a member of AA, because so many politicians are, got to protect that supply, huh? Anyhow, bunch of junkies. But yeah, that's so. If you will, to see the last videos for In Your Face, because we won't be doing anymore. Here in the near future, we're actually going to show exactly what Missouri thinks of their veterans. Ooh, yeah, that one's going to shake up some trees. I'm going to make so many enemies before the year's out. All righty. So I know Princess Faye keeps poking in here saying you need to wrap this up because you have been going for a good minute. Again, In Your Face, what it was initially designed for, we don't, and I try to warn you, when you see In Your Face, we're with the pandemic going on, we're going to be doing a lot more survival, urban survival stuff. Yeah, I got to eat something. Yeah, I got to. Because of my alcoholism, I drank myself to the point where I'm in the early stages of diabetes. If I don't take care of me, my blood sugar drops. I can have a little bit of sweets, but I have to be real careful. We're guesstimating before too much longer, I'm going to be on medication. I'm going to be on medication. I'm going to have to start taking care of me a little bit more. I know now that you guys know that, and you know that I'm supposed to be eating. You're all going to start getting onto me right now. So, if you will, let's go ahead and start bringing this to a close. I hope all of you did learn something. I know normally we do a lot of, we do a lot of, live streams where we've been having a lot of fun, but I had to come on here. I had to be honest about some stuff. I could not, it's one of those things that I could not. Oh, yeah, right. I could not come on here and just have fun and not tell you guys the truth about some of the things that has happened. You know what I mean? I couldn't come on here and tell, not tell you guys the honest truth. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it, Queen. I couldn't come on here and not tell you guys the honest to goodness truth about the medical field, knowing full well that, that the medical field nearly killed me, but I did love it. I'm glad that I'm not working it right now, and bring the awareness. Okay. I could not face all of you knowing these things and not tell you the honest truth. I couldn't do that. I can't do that to you guys. I love all of you so much that I could not look at, if I was standing in front of any of you having this knowledge and not tell you the honest truth, I would not be able to live with myself, and I wouldn't deserve your subscription. I would not deserve you guys pressing the like button every time you come in here. I could not do that. I couldn't ask you guys to do that if I wasn't honest with you. And that's one of the reasons why I had to do this. Okay. There is no legislation protecting us in the medical field. And right now, with this pandemic going on, we stand to lose a lot of nursing staff. Many of them will not survive this. And it's horrible because my people, you know, my people aren't going to make it. Okay. And, you know, um, someone has to speak up. And now that I have done so, now I feel like I can ask for you guys a subscription or ask you guys to press the like button because, I think you all understand what I'm saying. From the bottom of my heart, I could not feasibly get away with not telling the truth. You know, this one was a hard one because it took me down memory lane because of the fact that, again, nobody talks about this. All right. You guys know I love you. So tomorrow, there may be an excellent chance that the Prince Magnum artwork. Ooh, she's a wonderful artist. God, she's an amazing artist. Along with that, along with that, you know, um, there will be. I don't know. She may do it. She may do it. Along with that, tomorrow there will also be loaded. I will be. It's going to be loaded content for me tomorrow. But if Princess Faye, okay, I'm going to tell you the all honest to goodness truth. You guys are going to love this. Princess Faye wants to go live. She wants to. She wants to go live. She wants to show off her artwork, but she wants to go live on my channel. And I said, okay, why do you want to go? I was like, why live on my channel? She says, I like your people more. She said, uh, the Maverick Nation makes, they make me, they make me happy. And I'm like, that is awesome. That is awesome. And I will tell you guys that there are days that I am just so exhausted, and then I'll go live and hang out with y'all, and I feel good, you know? Sean, that's right. You guys are smooth as molasses. Yeah, we'll go with that. Buffer. Uh-oh. Hang on. I actually am watching the live myself, and I am not buffering. It may just be small parts of YouTube that's buffering. We're getting ready to shut her down anyways. All right, so that brings us to our usual spot. We'll raid somebody Tuesday. How does that sound? We'll raid somebody Tuesday. How's that sound? You guys with me on that? We'll raid somebody Tuesday. Okay. So we're back in. All righty. So that brings us to our usual spot. Again, thank you all for being here with me. As usual, get out there and work on a project. Yeah, I know, I got to get onto Twitch. Get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Oh, before I go into the usual outro, again, I know Sean posted it earlier, my email. If any of you send me an email and you want me to, if you live in the United States or in Canada, I can send you my phone number. And if you guys ever want to talk to me, you guys are more than welcome to. You know what I mean? So send me an email if you ever need, and I'll send you my phone number. You guys call me. Thank you, Sean. All right. Let's do the outro because I need to eat something. I'm starting to feel a little, All right. As always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep her off her feet and do something special for her today. You might let her put makeup all over you. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.